Hello everyone and welcome to Planet Zoo. The South America update has just been released and I'm very excited to show you guys all the new animals and items that you can get. We are currently in my little franchise zoo, so please forgive me any lack of creativity because I am just going around every now and then popping in, trying new habitats and just wanting to experience some of the animals. So I think this is kind of as far as my creativity has gone for these. I haven't really put in as much time, and also my Komodo dragon habitat is looking okay-ish, but everything else you're just going to see the fences as well as the new animals as well. So what we're going to start with, I actually did record this video previously, but it pooped itself. So now I am re-recording, hopefully everything goes okay. But the good news is that all of our animals are already placed and we can just go and view them. Another good thing is that most of them have mated, so I can show you some of the babies. So our first habitat is the giant anteater. Here they are. I really hope they're not fighting, but they may be fighting because I think some of them may have died out. I believe this one was a baby once. It's only 4 years old. It's already grown into an adult, so I'm hoping at some point they might mate again. But the Anteater Baby pretty much looks like a smaller version of these ones. Really like a miniature. With most of the animals, you sort of get a different coloring or more of a puffy face, but with the Anteater, the baby is pretty much half the size of these. Still very cute though, and if you do look at some of their animations, especially when they're eating, you can see this lovely long tongue, and they're walking on their little paws like that. You're adorable! I think we'll pop into camera view for each of these animals just so you can have a bit of a better look. But they are very adorable. Very bushy tails, and they do cover themselves with the tails when they sleep. And that one's just sitting there looking at the wall. I think it's time we move on to the next one, which is going to be the jaguars over here. I did make a mistake and I only had this part of the habitat built, and that was not enough for them, even though they're quite small. But I did extend their habitat quite a lot. It's looking very depressing and barren at the moment, but I was just really excited to see the animals again. These ones do have a little tiny baby cub, which is sort of crawling up on the roof over here. Let's see if we can sort of pop into the view here and select him. I think we'll just have to wait until he crawls out from underneath the roof, but as you can see, this little baby is absolutely adorable and very fluffy, a very sort of puffy face. But very gorgeous indeed. And just to have a look at the adults are more slender. They do look absolutely gorgeous, and I do believe that you can potentially get a black one through mating, however it's very rare. But the fur and the way they look and the way they've been made, very impressive. Very happy with how these animals look. You can already see some of the items that I put in from the new pack, how they light up at night. It's absolutely gorgeous. Some others that we will be showcasing in just a second do exactly the same, so I can imagine people building some absolutely spectacular buildings with these as well. But without further ado, our next animal is the llama. He's absolutely amazing, proud looking creature. The way they are walking towards you, sort of with their chin up, it's quite hilarious. Yeah, just like that. They just look like kings and queens of the world. And yes, I do have a baby for these ones as well, and they are just as cute as you would possibly imagine. They're all showing off now, but yes, you can see it's just, I mean, it's animal babies. I mean, what's not to like? I was very happy to find out that they have put in llamas. I think they're one of the most hilarious creatures in the world. Oh, what's going on with the neck there? A bit of a strange animation there. I have multiple babies. All my animals have gone completely crazy mating, which is a good thing. It means that they're happy. But yes, again, don't pay attention to the habitat. It was sort of like a quick put together thing. And on our way, I'm actually going to show you the little frogs, the little red-eyed tree frogs, if I can spot any. Oh yes, there they are. Right there. Unfortunately, I haven't found out how you can zoom in the exhibit unless you're using this little exhibit camera, but you can't really see that well. So what I'm going to do is try to zoom in on them as much as possible, and you can see them right there. Right over there. Very cute. These went crazy and just wiped his eye. Oh! Nice. I love that they've put so much care into exhibit animals as well. It's just lovely to see. Most of them are hiding, but they extremely overbred. I had to pop contraceptives on all of them. This one's just hanging from a tree branch over here. Right there. But yes, those are the fourth animal, red-eyed tree frog. And then finally we have our Capuchin monkeys, who have mated like crazy as well. So same as with the anteater, the babies are just smaller versions of the adults, so you can kind of tell that this is a baby. But in any case, let's go into the camera. Here we go. For some reason I can't seem to go lower than this, but we'll see if we can find a monkey that is using one of our crawl spaces somewhere. But one of the good things about the Capuchin monkeys is that they are okay with people walking through their habitat. So this is sort of what I've done with their habitat, and people seem to be really enjoying it, and the monkeys are sort of running all the way through without any objections. Look at this animal experience. You get to experience Capuchin monkeys in their natural habitat, somewhat, not really. But yeah, I really like that they've given us two animals who are okay with this. So it's also the giant anteater, who are happy for people to walk through their habitat as well. So you can definitely do some really fun gameplay with this. I have set out a bunch of items from the new pack, and it's a good thing. It's actually starting to get light, so we have enough time to quickly explore everything. So we'll start with the nature items. We have 3 types of these kinds of trees. I think they're called... I'm not going to pronounce that, but it's these kinds of trees, and you get sort of 3 versions of these, each taller than the other. Then we have 2 pieces of these that you saw in the jaguar habitat, and yes, you can dismantle these rock by rock if that's what you want. Then we also have this amazing piece over here. It's sort of like a fallen tree log between 2 rocks, and then you have a separate tree log like this one here. Moving on, we have 3 types of these trees, and this is a Brazil nut tree. So sort of 3 lengths of this. Then moving on to buildings. These are some of the shop shells that you can have. So this is where you can put 2, and I think this is really cool that you could have them walk through the path, maybe somewhere else, maybe as they're entering a new habitat area. You can sort of tempt them with a some souvenirs or so, and this is the single shop shell as well. Then we have these exhibit buildings over here, so you can put 4 in this big one. Very nice. And this one is a jewel one, sorry. This is a jewel one, so they sort of seem to be each facing another way, which I think is quite an interesting concept as well. But I'm sure you can remove this wall over here. Let's just see if that's possible. Yes, you can. It's selectable, so you could completely reveal both of them if that's what you wanted. Praise the sun! And this is a single exhibit building over here, and just pay attention to the sort of roofing and the mosaic that's been used on all of them as we move through it. It's very, very lovely looking. And they've hung some vines over here, so I think if you remove the coverings and you just have clear glass, it would look very, very atmospheric and just really nice to enjoy and look at the animals. So here I've laid the staff path, and these are the 4 items that we get. So you have an umbrella, and then you have this little seating area with a tiger sort of carved into wood. A lovely looking bin with some really cool detail. You have a little bird over here. And then finally a bench with a anteater motif right here with the with the tongue. So that's the bench. Then moving on to the staff buildings, you have the big and the small keeper huts. Looking very good. These are the big and small quarantine buildings. I wish they would have done a bit more with the quarantine buildings. They don't even have windows, but I think even with the standard ones, the quarantine buildings just don't have windows. I might be wrong, but that's what I seem to remember. It does have this really nice tree sticking out to the side though. Then we have these staff rooms that are a bit too pink for my liking, but I believe you might be able to perhaps color it in a different way. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Yeah, really nice decorations. And again, we're using this mosaic sort of motifs over here. These are the toilets. I really like the toilets actually. I love this little garden here in the middle, and also you have the covering with the mosaic again. Some butterflies on both of them to indicate that they've just been cleaned. They're nice and fresh. And finally we have the animal market, the vet center, and the workshop buildings over here. I believe I left out a research center somewhere. It was somewhere over here as well. And then we'll move on to the hard shelters for the animals. So starting with the smaller one, you get these sort of bamboo type of buildings for the animals, which I think look really, really lovely. Especially for some of the larger animals, and you can see sort of like a patchwork sort of finish over there. And then you have this massive temple-like hard shelter, which I think is absolutely gorgeous, and it does have lights and so on. And if we make it to another night, I'll return to these items and we'll see what they look like at nighttime. Moving on to some smaller decorative items, you have these 2 heads over here, which I could definitely see myself using for entrance type things, or maybe to a massive building to enter many exhibits and something like that. You have 2 torches, one large and one small one. You get this little fence type thing over here. Then you have 2 statues over here. One is a wood carved jaguar. I think it's out of wood. And then you have a golden llama, which is really giving me some strong Sims vibes. And then moving on to the decorative items, these are the doors, and these are some of the door panels that you can pop in the holes over here. Some more coverings here, so you could use these either for shop windows or maybe education boards. Then you have this roof covering and more frames. These are signs in which you can type something in. More frames and more things that you can pop into them. These are some of the sort of paintings and decorative items that you can use as well. As you can see, they've all sort of kept within that South American vibe and mosaic style drawn artwork. And these are some of the sort of stickers and decals that you can put on walls and all of your buildings. Really lovely looking. And here we move into more of the ancient civilization sort of style of decorations. It's mostly different colors for each of these. I do believe a certain set of these you can color in a different color. In some of these, as I go through, I have only used either one set of color just to show you the sort of style of items that we're getting. So I've done it over here. You get some really nice poles that you can sort of decorate or maybe make fences with, or use them as support beams. You get a lot of different rope coils over here, which you could use for sort of beam decoration and other things as well. Many building objects over here. As I'm going through them, you can just see the sort of different styles that you have. I have placed sort of one style of one and one style of the other in different colors, but you pretty much get these yellowy ones, you get them in this color as well, and vice versa. And then we have many options for the different roof types that you can make. As you can see, we have these 2 round ones, but then you have all of these pieces that you can just use to create your own roof. And I have to say, I absolutely fell in love with these two small ones. They're just the cutest thing ever. Moving on, we have some empty buildings that you can use for decoration. I love this one. It reminds me of sort of a fishing village sort of a building, especially because it's on these stilts here. So you could definitely use it to go over water and maybe even have your guests walk through it. And maybe make it lead to some animals. I know I have that path going over my crocodiles, so this is something that I might pop over my crocodile habitat. Then you have this massive temple over here, again with the llama statue at the top. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm really loving this. I don't think your animals can use it because I think the stairs are too steep. But it can definitely be used as a nice decorative item in one of your habitats. Then moving on, we have some smaller ruin buildings over here. So that's sort of like a top roof. This is just a staircase. I absolutely adore these ones. Sort of like a collapsed stone building with trees growing out of it. You have smaller versions of the same. This tree is sort of sitting on top of this beam over here. And a smaller sort of curved wall also with roots and flowers, and yeah, really nice. And of course you have this large wall over here. Then moving on, we have some more smaller buildings that you could use perhaps for shells, for shops, or just as decorations. And this large one on stilts over here, which I think is, it's just very villagey and I love it. One of my favorite items is this tree house over here. It looks spectacular. And then you can see the sort of cutout in the fence over here. So I'm pretty sure you could have stairs going up it. And this could be almost a viewing platform for the guests, which is a really good idea. And I really went there. You have these amazing little support beams as well, sort of holding everything together, which is a nice detail. And then we have loads of stone building sort of pieces over here that you could definitely use to build some very, very nice looking ruins. So rock piles, broken stairs. And then we're moving on to more building parts in a different pattern this time. I've also only put this color in here. You also get the green one, I believe. If we can just toggle it to South American. And if you scroll all the way down, you can see this sort of red one here. But I'm pretty sure that you can dye at least one of these sets in whatever color you want. But as you can see, quite a few pieces to pretty much create everything else that you've been creating in the game so far. And then we also have these stone and colored wood pieces over here in different lengths, and colored broken stone and support beams that could be used for perhaps painted looking ruins as well. One of the things that I forgot to showcase are these decorative options for different waterfall and rapid decorations that you will probably be using to create a sort of a jungle pond or a bathing area or a river. I love these two. I think they are the most natural, but obviously these ones are mostly used for rapids. With this one you can really see the sort of water droplets jumping up and down. The nighttime is coming, so we can start to see what all of this looks like at night. Nighttime has arrived, and just look at these colors. I quite like the contrast and the sort of reddish feel. It does feel quite ritualistic, but I think this would definitely give the right ambiance for your animal habitats, especially because this is the hard shelter over here. Just going over to the tree house, I mean, look at that. How is that for atmosphere? We're getting a bit of a ring light over here. Very nice. This is one of the empty buildings, or sort of the shells that you can use, also lit up with torches. And then going over to this half wall over here, that's how sort of it lights it up. But this is one of the torches that you get with the pack, so you can light up the whole thing if that's what you want as well. This is sort of what the torches look like. I'm going to move them a bit further away so you can tell the difference. And yes, this emits a sort of a bit of a softer light, and this is a bit stronger. And then finally going over to our nature part, this is what it looks like at night. This gives that moody red light, whereas this one is quite bright, and I think it's the butterflies that actually emit the light, unless there's been a light source put underneath. I am curious. I have to try it. Can we move a butterfly? Yes! It is the butterfly that is lighting up. That is really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Of course, I haven't set out all of the pieces, but I think you definitely get the idea. I've set out most of the pieces of each color and the different colors that you can just see in the construction bits, but that's pretty much what you get with the pack. And if you are confused and you've never downloaded DLCs before, the way you get all of these things unlocked is that you just have to go to the zoo, over to the mechanic research, and make sure one of your mechanics researches the South America theme. And that's when you will be able to just go in, set the filter to the South America pack, and all will be unlocked. So there we go, all the decorative items and all of the little animals have been showcased as well. This Capuchin monkey is enjoying the box a lot, and we have some babies walking around over here as well. Unfortunately, none of them seem to be crawling up the beams that I've placed just now. I know they've definitely been using it, but I was really hoping to zoom in on one of them and show you what they look like up close. Not sure if I'm using the camera wrong, but yeah, I can't seem to get it right. But they do have the cutest face. And the animations on the new animals, as usual, are top-notch. Their facial expressions and the way they interact with each other is just very heartwarming. I'm very happy with the animals that they have released. Is it worth $7.99 in UK? That is, if you live in UK. In the US, it might be a different price. I think so. For a DLC, it's very cheap. It definitely adds quite a few items to your game. I wish there was a bit more. Some of these items, the fact that they were the same items but just colored differently, was a little bit disappointing, but with the rest of it, I just wish we had more foliage options and more trees and bushes and so on that would really represent South America, because it is very diverse. But other than that, I think it's worth the price just for the animals themselves. Capuchin monkeys are extremely adorable and very, very cute. Llamas are just hilarious. Anteaters are cute and cuddly, and jaguars are lovely, scary carnivores. Plus, remember, with two of them you can have guests walk through the habitat, which before we didn't have that many animals that let you do that. So it's a nice change. Definitely adds a bit more variety to what you can do with your zoo. Just to finish off the video, we have popped over to these hilarious animals. Let me know what you thought about the DLC. Let me know if you've decided to buy it or if you've already tried it and which one's your favorite animal. But yes, I really like this DLC. I'm very happy with the items and animals that are included. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!